Hi guys, and welcome again. Today we are doing logs. Now, one of the things I just want to start with is to do a log equation, because log equations are very important in financial maths because you often need to solve for n to get the number of payments, or in functions where you need to solve the inverse of an exponential graph, which is a log graph. So logs are important, and it's really simple. What you just have to remember is log base number equals exponent. Say that rhyme over, well, it's not really a rhyme, but just say that over and over in your head so that sticks. Log base number equals exponent. What does that mean? Well, log base. So the base is the number which has an exponent. So base, if you think of the base of a tree or the base, it's the bottom. And so if it's the bottom of something, it must have a top. And so that top thing we know is an exponent. And then number is by itself. So log base number equals exponent. So say we're given 8x equals 64. Well, we know that 8 to the power of 2 is 64. But say we just wanted to use our log rule, the log base number exponent. So we know that log, it's going to be log base, which is 8. The number is the number by itself. And then the exponent, which is x. And so you can solve for x. So it's a way of figuring out what x is. And if you put log 8 to the 64 in your calculator, you will get the answer 2, which is what we said in our head before. Now, just a little bit of an introduction to log laws. We know that log 8 is the same as log 8 to the 2. And here we have two log laws in place. Well, one of the log laws says that log x, say m to the n, is equal to n. The power of that goes to the front. So that's not a 2, that's an n. N log x to the m. So the power of here, of the number, so m to the n can just be brought to the front. So that's one of the first rules. So we can just say that's rule 1. We can call that 1. Okay, you don't really need to know the number of the rules. You just need to know that those are the rules. So we see that the n comes to the front. Okay, so we could bring that 2 to the front. So we're using the second rule to get log eight to the 8. Well, there's another rule in logs which says that if you have log, say x here, log x, and let's call this, doesn't really matter, these letters could be anything, but let's call it m because m is already there. Well, what you could do is, if this is slightly the top, that's the way you remember that this will be, you can take the log m by itself on the top, so this will technically have a base of 10, the default base, and log x on the bottom. So let me just put that as an m in green so that we can follow, and an x equals. So that we can say is one of our second rules. Ooh. And so here we get then from the pink rule log 8 over log 8, which we know, which we can see can cancel. We also know that log anything, when these two are the same, it's equal to 1, but this just demonstrates the rule. And so we have 2 here. And so there we go, we get log 2 times 1, and we get our 2, which is what we knew x was. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video there, and I'm going to carry on with the other 2 log rules I want to show you. Right, so let's look at the other 2 laws that I'd like to show you. One is that when we add logs with the same base, we can multiply the numbers m and n. So, for example, if you had log m, let's put that in red. Okay, so say m was 5 and n was 2, right? Now, if you saw this, we know that the default base of log, so the default, if you just see a log 5, is 10. So if you see this, log 12, that just means that's log 10 to the 12. But if you, it's a little bit like there's a ghost 1 under every single number. 64 over 1 is 64. We don't write in the 1. And it's just like with logs, we don't write in the 10. So there is a ghost 10 here. So just keep that in mind. So what we can do is it'll be log, and there's like a ghost 10, which you're not really writing, 5 times 2, which is 10. Okay, so 10. And we know log 10 to the 10 from the same thing, rule number 2 here. If we put log 10 over log 10, we get 1. We know that log 10 is 1. So that's this rule. So when you add 2 with the same values here, so the same values where there's x, so that same base there, we just take the numbers and we times them by each other. And the same with when we subtract logs, except we divide instead of times. So when you minus, you times them. So say I get log 20 minus log, say, 2. So say that was a 20 here, and this is a 2 here. We would get log. And remember, there's a default 10 here, which I'm not going to write. And 20 divided by 2, which is going to be, again, log 10, which is 1. Log 10, which is 1. Okay, so that's logs. And now we will be going on to a new section. So I suggest that you check out sequences and series. If sequences and series is something you've got under wraps, then the next section you'll be doing will be functions. So if these videos are helping, please don't forget to find the subscribe button down here somewhere and subscribe to the channel, like and share with your friends and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next section.